Val Morgan Digital acknowledges the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land where this podcast is filmed. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
The whole gossip of it all, like, it's going to be so tempting to go and talk to everyone who's experiencing the same thing that you are. For example, if you're the one leading the charge on the gossip, your name is going to be the one that's carrying the, bad energy of like, this is not a team player. You've clocked into office hours with work besties Sohan and Hameda, helping you survive and thrive between 9 and 5.
We believe in work and play, so get ready to crush your career and live your best life.
Do you know what we're talking about today?
I do. Today we're talking about change and how to deal with it in a workplace setting. It's not always the funnest time, but it can be, maybe. Changes can come in many forms in the workplace, right? Like it could be redundancies, acquisitions, mergers, your work BFF resigning, your manager that you love resigning. It could even be like a manager or a leader that you have not gotten along with leaving. Like change can...
Or a program that you love and you're used to using that's no longer used.
Oh my gosh.
That's
like
a change.
Yeah, changing from Slack to Teams transition.
Which we deeply rejected.
We spoke about that before.
We didn't embrace that change.
No, we didn't. We did not listen to our advice with that one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the biggest workplace change you've ever had to adapt to? And like, how did you handle that?
Okay, one big workplace change was when we had a bit of a strategy shift, where they kind of merged two sides of the business into one.
Ooh.
And at the time, it felt like the world was crumbling around me. I think also because in the past, what we had been communicated to was very different. But, they had communicated a very strong line in the sand. And then all of a sudden they were like, we're merging as one. And it was really scary. I felt like my job was like on the line. It meant that, people were going to be having to leave and we were downsizing because, there was a merge happening. So I was like, how am I going to make sure that I can keep a job? And I really had a one-track mind towards that. I think I started updating my resume. I started thinking about what role I could do. And I really just focused on that as much as I could.
That's awesome.
Granted, I probably did do a little bit too much blabbing around to everyone, but everyone did that. And I think that was one of the first learnings I had about how you shouldn't do that. But yeah.
Did you find eventually that that change?
Oh, it was at the time it made no sense. Looking back, it makes all the sense. And I'm so glad we did it because the skills I learned from that merge, the things I got exposed to, I still use to this day. It was inevitable.
Yeah. It always happens though.
Yeah.
Well, not always. I shouldn't say always, but a lot of the time I feel like that happens where you're so just shocked. And then you, after the fact, look back and you're like, oh, this actually is great. Why aren't more people doing this?
Everyone should actually be doing this. Yeah. Everyone should have this change.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're do you thrive with change or are you naturally resistant to change?
I thrive.
You thrive?
I love change. It's exciting.
Oh my gosh. I'm inspired.
As a witchy person, so someone who identifies as a witch and is very interested in reincarnation and tarot reading, obviously the death card is a very big one and people are so scared of it.
Yeah.
Because it's in the name.
Yeah.
But I've always found it probably to be the most exciting card to have in a reading because it means new beginnings. It's not it's about the closing out of things.
Yeah.
So that you're ready for whatever's coming. And I think in that spirituality and being, just constantly thinking about the world and cycles and how everything is a cycle and it's constantly just changing but always coming back. It has helped me look at change in a completely different perspective. And I try to champion that. I try to tell people that when change is happening, I try to be it's an opportunity. Whatever's coming next is going to be better if you seek it out.
Yeah.
Because the onus is going to be on you every time. If you're just kind of sitting there waiting for life to happen to you, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So when I sense change, I'm generally obviously I'm like, who doesn't get freaked out by change,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to say I'm not scared or like, why?
Yeah.
Because I will revert to the brat. I'm a very big brat. So I need to know why everything is happening. If I get a reason for why that makes sense, I will still sulk, but I will feel better about the situation.
Love that.
So as long as I'm given a reason that I can then, because that's kind of what manifests the thinking about change, right?
Yeah.
Like the opportunity. If I don't know why we're doing something, I don't know what opportunities there are. I'm just kind of like, what is going on? And everything feels weird and mysterious and like someone's keeping secrets from me. Like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, why am I being left out of the conversation? So if I'm being told, and I feel like I've been lucky enough where a lot of the change that I've experienced in my career, there has been an explanation.
Yeah.
Thankfully. That then I can look at the situation from okay, I know where we're going. What does that mean? And then it becomes exciting.
Yeah.
But like, I will sulk. I love a little sulk. I'll sulk at any moment.
Yeah. I think I need a little sulk with change. I need that like time, but I feel like I am naturally resistant to it, or I was, but I've really learned over time to look at the positives, which is what we're going to talk about in the episode today.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
I love that.
Should we get into the tips?
I think we should get into the tips.
Let's go. My first tip is to acknowledge the emotional roller coaster and allow yourself to feel all of the emotions that come with it without reacting emotionally. So like something to keep in mind is whenever there's a big change, you're going to go through the stages of emotion, which are like shock, denial, anger.
It's basically grief.
Yeah. Bargaining, depression, acceptance, and then problem solving in the end. So
if you get that far.
If you get that far, but hopefully you will. And I think if you're in that like shock, denial, anger stage and you just can't see the light, just know that once you sleep on it, once you reframe a few things in your mind, it will get better. It will get easier and you'll be able to start problem solving and looking at the positives.
I think, yes, 100%. And off the back of that, I feel like when you don't allow yourself the space to like think about it, you do tend to catastrophize. And that's what kind of leads into the negative feelings. Because when you hear about change, it feels very disarming and like your foundations are being shaken up. So you're obviously immediately going to go to the worst case scenario, but that's not the way that you should be looking at things or handling it. I personally like to look at the best case scenario and assess the pros and cons in that way. Obviously, I'm going to have a meltdown in the moment, but I like to keep the meltdowns internal because externally melting down is not going to help you in this situation.
Like externally melting down will sabotage you in big, especially with big changes. So yeah, you really don't want to like be reacting emotionally. You don't want to be, venting to everyone.
Oh my gosh. No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Keep conversations private if you need to have them with like a trusted person. Crash out at home, as we've said multiple times before. But just know, that emotional roller coaster is coming. You're going to go through it all and then you'll come back around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even the change part is temporary.
Yeah. You'll resettle. So my next tip is zoom out to the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what's the end goal? Ask yourself, what can you get out of this change? I feel like in all of the changes I've gone through in the workplace, initially, you feel the burn of the change, but ultimately they've all led to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
You just keep the end goal in mind.
And I think you and I have gone through a lot of change together.
Yes.
And obviously us still being here and still working together shows that we did kind of just grin and bear the change until the outcome happened. And we have seen that in practice. We've seen that it feels so scary when it first happens. You don't really know what to do. And each time is so different from the last time that there's been a change. So it's not like you're prepared.
You're never
anyway
prepared
for what's happening next. You just prepared for the actual tumultuous part before it like eases up. But as you said, every time something has changed and the change has been implemented successfully, like as in not at the time that it's been announced, because sometimes it's been a bit shaky with that. But eventually when we've seen, oh, this is why this had to happen, so that like we understand that that was actually the greatest outcome. Yes. And if we'd stayed in that spot, you have to keep changing or you'll die.
You have to keep changing. And look, I think even if a big change might mean that you no longer have the job you used to have, or, maybe it's a redundancy and like, that's it. Like really, zoom out, because what does that mean? That means you have the opportunity to pivot if you've wanted to. You have the opportunity to move into something that's like more exciting. If it's a redundancy, you get a nice little payout, which is good. Like you might have some time off. Like what are you going to do with that time? Like really try and refocus and zoom out and don't get bogged down by
the fact that you're not going to be doing that thing that you've been doing because a lot of the time, even like when the change happens, I found myself personally before it, I was kind of just stuck in like a routine. Like it's the only reason I was happy was because it was the same.
It was familiar and safe and comfortable.
But that's not necessarily what you want to be doing, especially in your early career.
That's not where growth happens.
No.
I relate to that a lot, actually. Yeah, like the times where there's been massive changes, it's come after a point where very much in the same routine, very much doing the same thing. And then the change just like it can challenge you a bit. And growth comes from change as well.
Yeah. And that applies to everything. Workforce, life, like growth. Yeah. The opportunity that comes out of change is always growth. And that's the way that you should approach it every time.
Love it. All right.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but the whole gossip of it all, like it's going to be so tempting to go and talk to everyone who's experiencing the same thing that you are and kind of rat off and obviously complain about the people implementing the change because it's so fair. And I think that even like leadership and management understand that people face this kind of like emotion and they've been through it. So they understand that people don't like change and that they're experiencing all these emotions, but that not going to appreciate you talking bad about them to your teammates because of this change. And like, as much as you want to do it and as much as you feel like the other people are egging you on or like on board with what you're saying, at the end of the day, for example, if you're the one leading the charge on the gossip, your name is going to be the one that's carrying the, bad energy of like, this is not a team player. This is like a culture. I was about to say culture vulture. That's not what that means. Like just like a, pollution in the culture, and they're going to target you because you're not, the right fit then in that sense, because you're not on board.
Because you're creating negative vibes. And I think that's the other thing about it is like, if you're the one going around venting, doing the gossiping, yes, it feels so cathartic in the moment and like it feels so good because you've got solidarity with the people who are also going through the same thing, but it's not helping anyone.
No.
And it is creating negative vibes. And, maybe you can pivot and be that person that's asking like, oh, well, maybe like, what if like maybe this is going to, instead of just being like, this is so bad. I hate it. I hate it,
Like play the advocate.
Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. This is similar actually to my next tip is ask questions, don't assume. Similar to your like catastrophizing tip is like what freaks people out the most a lot of the time is the unknown, especially if you've been in a routine that's been very familiar, the unknown. So seek clarity, ask questions, get all the information you need instead of assuming the worst case scenario.
In a professional way.
Yes.
I want to say that. Don't start challenging people in the middle of the, announcement meeting.
So true. Okay, should we do a hypothetical? Like what would a good, like what's a good way of asking a question in a professional way versus non-professional?
I think it's entirely valid, especially if they've encouraged questions during the meeting, to voice it. If you find yourself unable to voice things in a professional, non-emotional way, I would hold off on questions until after the meeting because generally they'll be like, if you have any questions, send us an email.
Yeah.
So wait for that moment to ask your questions because it can be even if you don't realize you're being emotional at the time, if you're being defensive and like just really aggressive in your questions because it's right after you've gotten the news, maybe don't. But if you're the kind of person who can articulate yourself, because I remember a couple of times change happening and then there was like people who were so articulate and so calm asking the right questions and everyone else was getting answers because of their questions. So sometimes someone else will ask for the clarification that you desire in a better way that you could. And it helps to kind of sit out of it if you're not the person who can do that. Does that make sense?
Let's do a role play. Okay, so the big change, let's hypothetical, the change is like there's going to be okay, here's an example, like something that I've gone through in the past. We're pivoting to video content. We haven't done it before. We're going to start trying now because video is important. So there's going to be a bit of a restructure in the team.
Here are my initial reactions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is my job safe?
Yeah. So real.
Don't know what I'm doing.
So, okay. So yeah, asking questions in a professional way might look like, When will we get clarity on, the new team structure?
Job descriptions.
Do you know if we will be reporting into the same managers or will that change? And I think it's so much about tone as well.
Yeah. You need to be asking these questions in such an objective way, so that it doesn't feel like even an attack, just like defiance.
Yeah.
Because it can come off sounding like you're challenging their change when all you're seeking is clarity.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never ask questions when change is being implemented.
No, I don't either. I wait for other people to do that, and then I kind of take a beat and then like have a one-on-one with my manager and then like regroup and like figure out what I actually want to know. Another way, like I would ask a question like, okay, I'm just like role playing because I feel like it's helpful. But like, okay, if you hear the news about pivoting to video and you're like, well, I don't even know what videos we're gonna do. Like, what are we even gonna do?
Yeah.
A bad way of asking the question is like, what are we even going to do with video? Don't do it that way.
Yeah.
What I would ask instead is like, do we have a working strategy on our video content? Will we be working together on that? Is that already set? When will we find out?
Nice.
That's maybe what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes you sound excited about what's coming. Like, let me know more about the change so that, I can start already thinking in that way.
Yeah.
And I think that they'd really appreciate that because you're kind of in their corner and more advocating the change.
And it's like exciting. It's like, okay, well.
Which it is.
Yeah.
By the way, change is actually very exciting.
Exactly. And like in this specific hypothetical, like pivoting to a new medium or bringing in a new strategy can be so exciting. It's an opportunity to, like dabble in something new and make a bit of a mark for yourself. Like, have something to your name if you really put your hand up and get in it.
100%. Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay. Your
so
go?
Good. My next tip is know your non-negotiables. And this is probably something that you should be shaping as soon as you enter the workforce, when you start to understand how these systems work. And because a lot of businesses, all the cultures, like, you're going to hear people mention like cultural fit all the time, right? Like that's such a standard situation.
What does that even mean?
The vibes.
The vibes.
Are the vibes off or are they on? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see culture anyway. Not that I've had much experience in terms of actual hiring, but I think when I meet people, I can kind of generally tell if they are a cultural fit.
Okay, total tangent, but side note, do you think it's fair to hire people based on culture fit or not? Like, what if someone's really qualified and they're not a culture fit?
Then I'm not hiring them.
Yeah.
I actually do think it's so valid to make sure someone's a cultural fit. I think where the lines there get a little blurred are the culture fit, but also like qualified versus cultural fit, not really qualified kind of personality hire vibes.
Well, yeah, but okay, we need a whole episode on personality hires because I think they're very valid.
They're so valid and they're valuable.
Yeah.
To the company because they're kind of the vibe setters.
Yeah.
And they might not be the best at their actual JD, but like that's not why they're there.
They're there to like make everyone feel good about going to work every day and like keep the vibes on, which is so valuable. Anyway,
like number one team player vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, total tangent. But what were we?
Non-negotiables.
Yeah, non-negotiables. So what's an example of some non-negotiables someone might have?
For example, if I feel like, okay, here's something that I noticed working at, BuzzFeed, the industry media, there is a big separation in people who want to work independently from paid content. And that's so valid and like so understandable. So that's their non-negotiable.
Do you mean like if branded content, like working with clients and stuff like that?
Exactly. So if they're working for a publisher creating content and then suddenly that company is like, we're no longer doing editorial content, like we're no longer doing anything non-branded, everything that we're doing is just paid. So maybe like we're becoming a complete like agency.
Yeah, this is the change. Yeah.
Exactly. So that might be a non-negotiable for you. That might be a thing where you're like, actually, I want no part in this. I don't actually care about this. This is not why I got the job.
It's not for me, yeah.
And then you'll know immediately that the change means that you're
it's
out
time
of there.
For you to go.
And that's fine.
Whereas like on the flip side, for me as a Capricorn, I love stability. I love a full-time job. My non-negotiable would be, I just want to stay employed. Please actually just give me any role. I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would probably keep in the back of my mind is like, okay, we're pivoting. Like, where can I be valuable so I can stay?
Yes.
Is how I would approach it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like, I guess an example I could give is during this, even us moving to Val Morgan from being independent BuzzFeed, one of my non-negotiables was creative outlet. So when I had my onboarding interviews, that was something I brought up. I said, well, am I still allowed to do other things, even though this is my job description? Because at BuzzFeed, it was very much, here's your job, but if you want to create content, we would love for you to give that a go. So when we went into our meetings, I was like, is this still something that I can do? And when I got the yes, it kind of gave me the comfort of like, okay, I can still dabble in other things, because that's how I keep myself interested. Like I need to be able to like do a bunch of little things. I don't just want to be doing one thing. It would drive me insane. So
hence why we have this podcast.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was one of my non-negotiables. Like I want to stay creative. I want to be able to have that flexibility. And if they had said no, then I don't know that I would continue. And that's so fair, because that's not their direction. That's not my direction. We part ways. And again, don't burn your bridges.
Don't burn your bridges. I think like other non-negotiables that people might have might be around like pay. It might be around benefits, the team you're working with.
True. Manager.
You're like your manager. It might be around, you know, like where you're working from. Like if it's a work from home, remote, hybrid, or office all day. So yeah, have a think about all these things. And I think that's a really good tip. My next tip is separate facts from feelings, because it's so easy to get caught up in the feeling of it all and make assumptions and worst case scenario, the whole thing. Just focus on what is a fact only. So you said before, like sometimes, you know, you feel like your job is at risk, or like when there's a big change, people can feel like their job is at risk. Is it really at risk? You haven't been told that anything like that is going on yet, hopefully not. So don't focus on that. Focus on, you know, maybe just have a conversation with your manager before spiraling into that, because they may give you a bit of reassurance that's not happening. Or maybe they will say, look, this is a possibility, and then you can prepare in a productive way.
Because you can be like, okay, so what is the opportunity here for me then? Like, what should I be working on? What skills should I be honing in on to make sure that I still have a place here when that happens? Or they'll just say, calm down, it's fine. Nothing's happening to you.
Totally.
I love that one. That's great.
You'll go.
Oh my God, me? Stay flexible. And I think this is just in general, because like we said, so much change happens. And we always say that because it's just a fact that being prepared for change, even though you feel like nothing has changed in months and months, can't relate. But the preparedness and because I feel like you and I at this point, because we've gone through, and it was kind of a force thing. Like it was a conditioning thing. It wasn't necessarily something we picked up on, but this is why we're giving you this advice right now, is that now when change happens, I feel like we're so flexible and on it that it's so easy for us to be like, okay, that's no longer happening.
Easy?
What's next? Well, obviously there's struggles. Obviously there's struggles and internal situations happening, and it does like take a beat to get to the
I feel like
when you're done processing.
And I feel like what I've gotten better at is going through that processing of emotion quicker.
Or more privately for me.
Privately for me too, and quicker. Is that like I don't wallow in it for as long, and I'm like, okay, quick, what's the positives out of this?
So staying flexible, and in that way then appearing as flexible to management, and that you're adaptable, like immediately changing with the business, you're going to become way more valuable.
100%. But like senior leadership will pick up on if you're not being flexible, if you're, you know, being really rigid in like how you think things should be. Management will pick up on that. It's not going to necessarily result in like really bad things immediately, but it's just a vibes thing. And I think it will benefit you if you can stay adaptable, stay flexible, even if you don't feel it. Pretend. Just pretend.
Fake
it. And it's just, that's such a huge benefit.
The skill of faking it will get you through so much in the corporate world.
100%.
So much.
Okay, my next tip, which kind of leads to everything we've already been saying anyway, but be solution focused always, instead of just jumping straight to, this isn't going to work. Why would they make this decision? I don't understand why this would happen. Like, try and reframe it to, how can we now make this work? What can we do to make this work. And I think that problem-solving mindset is honestly a lot more fun than spiraling.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, like, I'm not going to lie and say it's easier to do that, because it's not, especially when you're in that shock, denial, anger stage. But again, once you move through, just keep reminding yourself you're going to come out on the other end and start coming up with solutions, because also your managers will really appreciate that. They love it if you're, coming up with solutions. They're going to remember that. They're going to feel like they can rely on you.
Yeah. And then when there's time for you to be put up for like a senior role,
Promotion.
they
Yeah.
already know that you're adaptable.
You're showing leadership skills by keeping in that solution-focused mindset.
100%. And I think seeing the change as a challenge and something positive versus negative. Like, I think having the creative solutions mindset for the change, it makes it all more exciting. So like when you start thinking of it as like, okay, we're no longer doing that great. We're no longer in the confines of doing that. So now like the whole world has opened up essentially. We can do anything. In this day and age, really, you can do anything.
Yeah, I love that.
My next tip, focus on the stuff that you can control.
Oh,
because so much of it you're not going to be able to control. Honestly, I doubt that even your manager has any control over the situation.
oh my God, yeah.
I've been in situations in workplaces where like my boss literally does not have any control in what's happening, and they're in the same boat and like trying to understand and navigate the situation as I am. So just focus on yourself, your decisions that you have, like what pathways are opening up to you because of this change, what, is a barrier because of this change to like what you potentially were foreseeing for yourself, and then pivot that strategy, pivot your personal strategy, yourself.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself.
And I love what you said about like your manager might not also have control over it. And I think keeping that in the back of your head and remembering that just helps you have a bit of empathy for your manager as well. And like the tendency can be like, oh, like manager, can you fix this for me? But like they don't have control. They also might be in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
And we're all in this together.
A lot of the time they're like just as stressed out as you. They've just learned how to mask it better.
Yeah.
And they would probably really appreciate are you okay? Like, how are you dealing with this?
Of course.
Yeah. So, be nice.
Really great tip. My next tip is protect your mental health, but like aggressively protect your mental health. Like big changes can really take a toll on the mind. So really like have a think about what things can you do to wind down, to clock off. What's your self-care routine? Maybe like going for a long walk at the end of the workday to just get out in nature, touch grass. Maybe like schedule a therapy appointment if you've got a therapist at the moment. Turn your phone on do not disturb and put a comfort movie on. Face mask. What are like some of your self-care habits that you love?
I very much have like having outlets as in like my community friends that I can vent to about situations I think is so important outside of work. I obviously have my inside of work person right there that I complain about everything to, but I think having people to voice your opinions about who will actually hear you and validate your annoyance and frustration at the situation without actually compromising your career is awesome. I think definitely the walks. I think every time
we love a walk.
We love a walk.
We love an after work walk.
We love a walk. I'm always too scared to initiate the walks.
Yeah, you never do that.
I don't. I wait for Sohan to message me, but it's because I know you will.
But then I'm like, oh my God, I'm always the one asking for a walk. Does Hameda even want to go on a walk with me?
Here's what I'll tell you. That might give you some clarity.
Yeah.
96% of the time that Sohan messages me, walkie this afternoon, I'm in a crisis. And I'm like, please, yes, I need a walk.
Oh my God.
And when we do it, and because we have a little grassy spot, we sit on a hill, like it's so lovely under the sun, like just being in that environment and allowing, because you will forget sometimes that how good being outside makes you feel.
Oh, touch grass, people. It's so good.
It's so cathartic.
Yeah.
And I know it's a meme. Like I know touch grass is a joke, but it genuinely resets your whole system. Yeah. So doing that, I think I would never, when I give advice, I don't ever tell people what I do.
Okay.
Is that weird?
I don't think it's weird. Do you want to not to say what you're doing?
No. It's not that I don't want to say what I do. It's just that I don't think that my outlets, and I feel like maybe this is the same for a lot of people, I don't think that they're universal. Like,
that's
I don't
okay. There might be someone out there that relates to it.
I mean, surely, probably, but like creative writing, really is a great outlet for me. Creating worlds, disassociating for like 6 hours straight, not replying to anyone's messages.
Love that. Love doing that.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
What else do I do? I watch a lot of like shows that I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because then I'm comfortable.
So a lot of those I do as well.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a movie on so I can switch off, I find that I actually can't focus on the movie, even if it's a comfort movie of mine. Sometimes I just have to lean into the doom scroll. I get my headphones on, I get a blanket, I sit on the couch and I just scroll the talk. And it is so good.
It's so good.
Sometimes
and
you just need it. Oh,
breathing.
So
you have to, right? Otherwise, you know.
Yeah.
But no, generally, like when I find myself in a high stress situation, and I actually don't think I know how to breathe properly, and that's why I'm constantly sighing and yawning.
Oh my God.
I think it's a real thing. Like sometimes
you
you just
sigh
forget
randomly.
I do.
Yeah.
And it's because I forget to breathe sometimes. So I'm like, suddenly I'm like, wait, I have no oxygen in my system. But that will happen. And then I'll feel my like lungs get really contracted. And I'm like, okay, I need to actually like breathe consciously. And then I will. And then it'll make me feel better about the situation. So remember to breathe.
Remember
please.
to breathe.
What
Another
do you
one
do?
well, what I do, love a walk, love a vent to my husband, doom scrolling, watching a movie. I think also like for me, like being active in some way just helps me get some energy out, whether that's going on a run, going to the gym, also like doing a yin yoga class, which is so easy. It's just stretching. Like I set up my yoga mat at home, put on some music and just do pigeon pose for like 10 minutes on each leg. And like it just really gets so much energy out. So like that's probably my go-to if I have the least amount of motivation and energy. It's either a walk outside or a yin yoga class at home.
Oh my God, that's so pretty. My realignment strategy is doom scrolling.
That's so important. See, I doom scroll daily for 40 minutes before I go to bed, no matter what. That's every day without fail.
That's 40 minutes is not, I mean like 6 hours a day. If I can't, like if I'm sitting at my desk working from home and I see that I have to write 6 articles, for example, and say it's like 10:30 a.m. I will feel so crippled by the fact that I have to do 6 articles. And my outlet, or like the way that I get myself geared up to do it, is to literally sit on my phone and doom scroll until like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Where I literally will only have like 2 hours to finish my work and then just smash it all out.
And then you get a text from me being like, want to go on a walk? And you're like, okay, now I've got to get it done by 5:30 so we can go on a walk.
That's my process.
Love it. And everyone like figure out what your process is.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to figure out the things that worked for me. So try a few different things, and when change is happening and when everything feels up in the air, like do your aggressive self-care meant to like protect your mental health.
Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Change is scary.
Yeah, it is.
It will always be scary. Even if you think of it very positively like we do, it's still such a disarming situation.
100%.
Here's my next tip. Learn new things proactively. And I mean this in like within your own job role. When you start dabbling, I think I'm very blessed in the sense that I'm naturally a very curious person. So if people are doing things around me, I generally want to know what they're doing, what the process looks like. And then if I'm interested, I'm like, teach me.
Yeah.
So like, for example, with BuzzFeed, obviously I had like a lot of skill in writing. I'd never touched a camera before.
Yeah.
And I was so interested.
Yeah.
So I literally would come into like video shoots and stand with the producer and watch them do whatever they did with the camera, saw what settings they chose and what buttons they pressed to get there, learned all these skills.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was producing videos.
Yes.
Even though I'm not a video producer, I would just do it for funsies.
Yeah.
And gained all these skills before change happened to the point where it's like, now I'm more valuable because I know how to edit a video. I know how to shoot a video. I did all of this on my own accord. No one was asking me to. In fact, they probably would rather that I did that.
I'm sure that's not true.
No, but like, okay, but here's the thing. It would be true if I didn't finish my work.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on doing stuff like this, make sure you're on top of your actual workload.
Yeah.
Don't just start randomly dabbling in like other skills without actually doing your work.
Yeah.
That's not going to turn out well for you. But what that means is when we do change, for example, using your roleplay analogy of video, in that situation, I could be like, I know how to shoot video.
Yeah, I can be a video producer. I know how to do it. You're
Exactly.
then, you've got that under your belt. So real.
Yeah.
So real. I feel like when I was at BuzzFeed and I was in a social media role, I'd write articles every now and then just to like keep that muscle going of like writing. And yeah, such a valuable tip is to be proactive about that. Don't wait for opportunities like that to fall in your lap because they won't.
No.
You've got to go seek it out. So yeah, I love that one. Okay, my next tip, quick one, like be open to surprises. Like some changes, like whether it's new leadership or restructures, can lead to unexpected opportunities. So just be open to that instead of shutting down and being like, I hate change. I feel like just repeating everything we've said, but yeah.
But it's so, and that kind of reminds me of when our Lord and Savior Julia Willing started at BuzzFeed. Because I think
oh my God,
we'd gone through so much change by that point and we were kind of already just sick of it. I think we were just tired.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, what's this going to be?
We had a lot of like leadership changes.
Yeah. So we were almost expecting the worst, to be fair. Like based on face value and what we knew before we even met her, we were kind of like, oh, we know what this is going to be. Like it was very much like, here
very
we go.
like negative, like,
and she knows this because
we've said this to her face.
Told her, so did I.
Yeah.
Came in, absolute icon, legend, like the biggest blessing of our life. But initially, we genuinely were like, oh God.
No, and I will say though, like our little negative, like, oh my God, here we go again. It was a private thing. Like we didn't go and tell everyone. No. We were just kind of like,
it was very,
oh my God, to other people and to Jules when she came, like we were great. And that's important. Like it's okay to have your private moments and go through your emotions, but just don't be doing it in front of everybody.
No, that was between you and me and one other person thing.
Yes, exactly.
We were not going around telling.
No.
But that was such a big surprise.
It was a big surprise and such an amazing surprise.
She's made such an impact.
And just for you guys' context, like Jules came in to be our manager like in another era of BuzzFeed and was just such an amazing manager, so supportive, so nurturing, really honest, and we are forever grateful.
Yeah, 100%. I genuinely would not be where I am without Jules.
No, we love
her. But the fact of the matter is, before we knew her, I did not expect great things.
We had been through it. Yes. So we were not expecting the best, but this is the lesson, is be open to surprises. Look at the positive. You never know what could happen. You could meet the biggest Shayla of your life.
Exactly. And even though we did feel that way, again, like you said, we were open.
Yeah,
and that's what allowed us to actually realize that she was so great.
Exactly.
Is because it, like, obviously our initial thought and gut reaction was like, oh God. And then, but even like when she was in front of our face, we were like, oh my God, hey! Of course. Because you have to.
You have to.
Embrace the change, even though inside you're feeling like it's going to be terrible.
And had we not done that, had we let our like negative emotions get the best of us, I'm sure Jules or anyone would have like picked up on the energy and like it would have been a bit of like a bounce off effect of just negative vibes and not would have been good. So yeah.
Cool.
Do you have another tip?
I do. I have my last one.
Yeah.
Which kind of ties everything together.
Yeah.
Which is stay professional.
Oh.
Like under any kind of pressure. And if you can't, remove yourself from the situation. Because I also understand not being able to control yourself. I have definitely developed the skill of hiding my emotions. And it's still something I like suffer from because I feel like sometimes I'll be sitting in meetings and I have to genuinely consciously tell myself, stop making that face. And I literally, like, if it is to a point where I'm genuinely just frustrated, I can't control it. I've been in meetings before where like a project is going completely awry and people on the team will be like, Hameda, like you could tell.
Yeah.
She's about to lose her mind.
Yeah.
So I can't hide that stuff, but I've become better at it. And I've also become better at acknowledging and sensing when I am starting to fall under the line of professional, and then I will
leave. I've seen you do that.
Leave.
It's so iconic because
you need to protect yourself.
You're protecting yourself by doing that. And like, I think like, senior leadership would see something like that and respect it because like they would much prefer you just exit yourself out of the situation, take a minute instead of like, projecting it onto everybody.
Exactly.
So, iconic.
Yeah. You have to do it sometimes.
You have to. Okay, my final tip also to just kind of round everything off, and we've said it before, we'll say it again. Change is constant. Every workplace is going to shift, is going to restructure, is going to pivot. And the sooner that you get comfortable with change, the smoother your career will be.
Yeah.
So be ready for it. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if it hasn't happened in a long time, it's probably coming shortly.
It's coming. And use it as a little bit, like, you know, you play Mario Kart and there's little arrows that make you go faster.
Yeah.
Use it as that. Just look at it like that. Look at it like, oh my God, okay, change, opportunity. Is there a chance for me to like jump 6 rolls? Because you might be able to. Like, look at it from an opportunity perspective so that you can boost yourself
100%.
instead of making, you know. Because like having to switch to, I feel like, can sometimes make you take 5 steps back, and then you've got to like start from scratch somewhere else and all of that stuff, when potentially there might have been a future opportunity for you to do something phenomenal at this place. So like really, really think about it before acting.
Totally. Love it. Amazing tips. I really hope this was helpful for anyone. You know, I feel like this is something that, because as we said, we've been through so much change together as well, like throughout our career. It does get easier with time and practice. So be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and keep slaying.
Yes, keep slaying.
All right.
That's it for this episode. We're repetitive for a reason, by the way. All of these points are very important. Please keep them on board as you move through the world.
Please do. Bye.
Bye.
Office Hours with Sohan and Hameda is a Val Morgan Digital production and part of the BuzzFeed Australia network. Have a question or topic you want us to cover, or a workplace dilemma you want us to unpack? Send us a DM on Instagram at officehoursbf, or drop us an email on officehours@valmorgan.com.au.
For more, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at officehoursbf. You can follow Sohan on socials at Sohan Judge, and follow Hameda on socials at It's Hameda.
Our music is by Jasic. Make sure to hit subscribe or follow so you don't miss an episode. And if you like what you hear, please rate us 5 stars and tell your friends to clock in.